We are in Ibiza and we're in the new discotheque what just opened this summer called Boom. We were developing the system and we were trying to find a pilot location, and it come up that there's this new club in Ibiza. It was a great opportunity, you know, for us to really make a big statement. The complete GS Wave system will deliver a warm, deep and clean sound at high SPL. But every floor stack system needs infill boxes. And our XY series complement the GS Wave system very well. The XY series is a multi-function speaker. It can be used for a DJ console installation, it can be used as infills, and it can also be used as a standalone system. The XY series range includes a 12-inch, an 8-inch, a single 18 reflex loaded, and a twin 15 quasi bandpass subwoofer. X and Y stands for the axis, and the axis means 90 by 60 degree dispersion, both of which feature a rotatable horn for horizontal and vertical applications. When we did the installation at Km5, we used the XY series.
We are in my place called Km5 or Km5 in Spanish. It's a little club with a very good restaurant with 5 bars and a beautiful shop and a little gallery as well. So it's already 19 years open. It's well known all over the world.
Km5 consisted of 4 XY122s, 1 XY118 and 2 XY81s. The XY122s were chosen for the main area of Km5 because we wanted to allow the headroom. And we know that the Km5 restaurant, in their specifications, they wanted to have some small lightweight parties and then all the way through till 4 o'clock in the morning with maybe 150, 200 people. So we needed something which is going to be able to continue and not decay over the time.
The problem of Km5, I took this place over like this. We have a old stone wall, and we have a stone floor and a big window front. The composition of all the 3 things is very bad to have a good sound.
We had to correct these issues before we put the system in and commissioned it. First of all, the resonating glass was fixed. That was the first thing. The second thing was the acoustics of the room. So there's only 1 or 2 things you can do in this aspect, is to start to retune the speakers to complement the room. By doing that was using smart software to just do some measurements of the room, to see the problem frequencies, the resonant frequencies of the room, and start to cut away in small bits to get the balance what I was looking for.
The sound is very warm. I like the bass and the clear sound of the system. When it's bassy, I need more power, and when it's quiet, I have the change, the settings. Yeah.
Surge has 2 access presets. One which is early doors, so early doors being 10:30 in the evening when people finish having a dinner in the restaurant and they want to go through and have a drink and a dance. And then there's another setting which normally gets engaged around about 1, 2 o'clock in the evening when it becomes more of a small little club than a late drink in a restaurant.
The speakers we have now is much more stronger. They have more deep and they have also more bass. And the good thing is also when you're in the middle of the dance floor or in a corner, wherever, you can also talk, yeah? So you can talk to each other and you can hear the other one. And of course, everybody come in. A lot of DJs, producers, they say, oh, what a fantastic sound system. So, big step ahead.
My name's Idris Elba, and we're in Ibiza in Pikes Hotel. I throw parties called Seven Wallace, and they're sort of intimate, smaller, more, just compact house parties. It's a free party. It's kind of like sort of reminiscent of how Ibiza used to be, where it's just, people getting into good parties, we listen to good DJs. So it has that sort of environment here, and you know, it's very much in line with my sort of, you know, Seven Wallace theme. Seven Wallace was an address I used to live at, and it was a party, and people used to just come in there and pile in. So it's the same sort of feel.
I think the uniqueness about this venue is its authenticity. It is one of the only truly authentic rock and roll hotels in the world. It's very difficult to come up with anyone from the sort of 80s and early 90s that didn't stay here, particularly all the bands, or everyone stayed here. We're sitting in a room we call Freddy's, which has had a sort of checkered history, but originally it was sort of the restaurant, the public areas of the hotel. So here's the restaurant, and right through there is the original bar of Pikes in the 80s. So the reason we named it Freddy's was one of the most famous events here was Freddie's 41st birthday party, and it all happened around here. This was the central indoor space of the party. I mean, it was everywhere. It then turned into the most famous suite called the Marrakesh Suite, and when we took it over, we felt it was a shame that this space was seen by hardly anybody. So we decided to return it back to a public space. But we left it as a room. So what you've now got is you've got a hotel party. You've got the feeling that you're in someone's room in a party. People are dancing on the bed, but we don't actually rent it as a room anymore. So it's just a naughty little hotel party, and it goes very well.
Freddie Suite at Pikes was a very interesting one again. We decided to use just 3 XY81s and 1 XY118 subwoofer. The installation at Pikes was very easy. Thanks to the wall-mounted brackets, it was just a very quick, simple installation.
We've literally set it up a couple of days ago. So we've done one event in this room since it's been set up, and that was our first Seven Wallace party with Idris Elba as a resident. And it was probably the most legendary event we've done since probably Freddie Mercury did a party in this room. It was absolutely amazing. The difference in here was enormous to last week. Enormous. It felt like you were in a proper nightclub rather than Freddie's bedroom with his hi-fi turned up loud. The response we had from the collective party was, this is a paradise, this is an amazing venue, can't believe we're not coming here more often. There was just we couldn't have had a better opening for the Seven Wallace parties if we tried. It was, you know, it was special in so many ways, but obviously the sound system was a major contributor to that.
The system in here rocks. I mean, it really feels the space. The bass is proper and just sounds amazing in here. When I was like younger DJ, it used to be proper old school heavyweight sound systems, you know, big bass bins. And this Pioneer room kind of sounds like that in here. So that's why I love it.
From Freddie Suite at Pikes, we went on to do another hotel room, but in a completely different direction. We ended up doing Ushuaia Tower's I'm on Top of the World presidential suite.
What we offer in this room is the possibility that the client can invite all his friends and has the possibility to create his private party. The room has a capacity for, I will say, probably 60 people. If we take also the balcony, I will also say 80. We offer them also the possibility to book an artist to play privately for him.
In the presidential suite at Ushuaia, we installed 4 custom white versions of the XY81 with horizontal brackets and a custom white XY118 subwoofer with 2 PowerSoft K2 amplifiers. The brackets used in the Ushuaia presidential suite were the Pioneer's horizontal brackets. The speakers were mounted in a recess around the room, and we wanted to keep the clean lines in the view of the architect's requests. So simply we rotated the horns and giving the 90 by 60 degree dispersion in a horizontal way. When I was working on the brief for the presidential suite, there was 2 things which was clear. They wanted to have the superstar setting, which is when they're having some crazy parties, when the SPO level needs to be slightly increased more than what is normally desirable. And then also the standard setting, which equally is very loud. To load the 2 presets we built in the presidential suite, you can simply do this through the front panel display by selecting the menu and going to presets 1 or 2. I must say it's probably one of the most loudest hotel sound systems what must exist.
Yeah, really clean, deep sound. My first thing was, let me please go out to the corridor in order to check the soundproof, no? And also go to the lower level. And then I came back up and I said, well done, because we got the best. Everyone is asking, when they come up, the first thing they want to do always is open the box with the D equipment.
The XY series is made from a multi-laminated birch ply construction. It also features a impact-resistant paint finish. Normally when you're driving a speaker hard, the components get really hot, and the typical components will get hot, normally burn out. And when they burn out, they blow the board. And it means you have to replace the whole board. But we separated the components that get the hottest, so they're on their own heatsink inside the speaker, so to allow much better thermal cooling. The sound of the XY series, I'd say, is very clean, tight and crisp, and it complements the GS Wave very well.
We can't deliver inferior quality because of the sort of guests that are playing here and the sort of people that are staying here as well. It's just not an option.
It's miles away from what we got before. We're not such a big place, but for the place what we are, for the size, I think it's the best what is on the market. Yeah.
If we offer the customer to have the possibility to bring David Guetta to the room to play for him privately, we must offer him the best equipment, and that's what we got.